What game are we playing today?
Sheriff of Nottingham.
And do you like Sheriff of Nottingham?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you can bluff.
That's all that needs to be said, huh?
Exactly.
Hey, Brooke, we got a bluffing game. I'm in.
I'm in for all of the bluffing games.
That's nice. Well, sweet. Well, what are you trying to do in Sheriff of Nottingham?
In Sheriff of Nottingham, you're trying to take your goods to market and get the most points.
Get the most points. Nice. But you got to get them past
The inspector.
the sheriff. He's going to inspect your goods. Possibly.
So, everybody that's playing starts with 6 cards.
Okay.
So I'm going to take my 6. I think that's 6.
So I see there's a couple of numbers on there.
These are the penalty points. These are the value points for the end of the game.
Okay.
Just a little
Sweet.
bit.
So you got, see, everybody's got their 6 cards?
Everybody has 6 cards.
And their character?
Their character. We're
Nice.
not going to play with the baker on the edge.
Okay. No Baker this game.
Everybody will be able to be the sheriff twice. Unless you're
Nice.
playing a 3-player game, then it's 3 times.
Okay. Cool deal. So somebody's the sheriff. Everybody's got their
Somebody's the
6
sheriff.
cards?
Then when it gets to your turn,
Uh-huh.
you're going to just look through your hand and be like, I'm going to discard this many. You can discard up to 5 cards.
Okay.
And then you're going to draw from either the discards or the draw pile.
Nice.
So
And there's
gonna
2
look
discard
through it.
piles
Ooh,
that you can look through.
I'm going to choose this one because I want the cheese. But I'm
Okay.
going to have to take the one on top. But
Oh,
still.
got to take the
I'm
cards
going
to
to
it.
take those 2. And then I discard whatever ones I have.
In any order on either discard pile.
Yep.
Sweet.
Then everybody goes through. Once you're done, then you start filling your bag.
You
So-
don't have to draw from the discard pile in that phase, right?
You don't have to draw from the discard pile.
You could just do blind draws.
Yeah.
So they don't know what you're taking.
Exactly.
Okay?
But because the sheriff knows that I took a crossbow, which is a contraband, he's probably going to think I'm going to put that in here.
Okay.
Instead, I'm just going to say, I have 4 cheese. Because he might think my contraband's in there. But I actually
Okay.
do have 4 cheese.
So you're secretly deciding what to put in your bag to take to market.
Everybody does that at the same time.
Okay.
Once everybody's got it in their bags, they take turns to give it to the sheriff and say what they have in their bag. There's only a few rules to that, though.
Okay.
You have to say the correct number of cards that are in your bag. Can't lie about that.
Okay.
And you have to declare a legal good, and it can only be one good. So you can't say, like, chickens and cheese. It would just need to be, like, cheese.
Okay. But you could have some chickens in there and cheese.
Yeah, you
can
could.
only declare one legal good.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. So you declare to the
So-
sheriff.
Each person takes turns and does that, and then the sheriff will have it.
So what are you declaring to the sheriff?
I'm declaring I have 4 cheese,
Nice.
but he
Okay.
doesn't know what we're going to do.
All right. Let's have everybody put in their bags to the sheriff.
Oh, contraband! Oh, pardon me. I seem to have come down with a cold.
Then the sheriff has his amount of time to do what he wants. This is when we like to go to our app. Wonderful app.
Okay. Cool.
And
They
it-
got an app that goes with it.
You can choose who everybody is. I'm the silk dealer. So I'll stick me on there. We can say, let's start. I'm Hunter.
Bigger.
Hunter dealer. And who else is every dealer?
Okay. Nice.
Once you've picked everybody, then you can change the time of how long you're going to have.
Ooh,
Go up
that's
to
a long
15
time.
minutes,
Don't
yeah.
take that long.
Yeah. We just like to stay at 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, then you can keep going, and then when the sheriff is ready to, like, decide on what he's gonna do, hit play. It starts counting down for you, too.
Nice timer. It's got great sound effects.
So, when it gets to the sheriff, he can either decide to inspect your bag and see what you have, or he can just say, I believe you, go to market. So, if he had my bag, and I was telling the truth, and he's like, okay, yeah, you're fine, whatever. And
And he
then
lets you pass.
He lets me pass.
But he thought you had a crossbow in there.
He might think that I have a crossbow, but he also might go, she could have totally tricked me out there. Like
Okay.
I did.
All right, so he lets you pass.
I can take it out and be like, yeah, I had it. Stick it next to my card. Where it has little things that say where you can put your stuff.
Okay.
Then he gets to the cheese dealer, Caleb. And Caleb's going, yeah, I'm fine, you know. But then the sheriff was like, hey, I don't think you're telling the truth.
1 minute.
Oh no, he's down to 1 minute. So then Caleb could be like, I'll give you 2 coins not to inspect my bag.
So you can bribe the
I
sheriff.
think you
Yeah.
should open it.
Ooh, with
And
that
then when
or
you
any
start saying that,
sighted
then he's
deals.
going, I think you've got something through. So then if he decides to inspect it, then Caleb has to pay him 4 coins because he checked his bag.
So the contraband is confiscated and he's got to pay the
Gets
sheriff that
discarded.
much.
He still gets his cheese.
Okay, what he declared still gets through, so he gets to put his cheese
He gets to stick his cheese right there.
with his
next to
cheese. All right. And what if the sheriff inspects?
If the sheriff decides not to inspect the bag and he's just like, yeah, sure, and he goes through and you have your cool little contrabands, then you would just stick it wherever it goes. Yeah, he stole that through, which he's not supposed to. And then when you get to the contraband, you keep it hidden in your contraband spot.
Bugger off.
Your time is up.
Time's off. He never got to the red bag, so he just has to let him through.
So if you don't get to it, you have to let him through.
Yep.
But let's say that he did inspect the red bag because he didn't trust him.
If he didn't
And
trust him,
red bag said 4
red bag
apples.
gets through. He's telling the truth.
Oh, he's telling the truth.
Then the sheriff has to pay him however many it adds up to.
So if he was honest, then the sheriff's got to pay him 8 coin. So that's tricky as the sheriff knowing who to choose to inspect and who not, because if they're telling the truth, you got to pay them.
And then if they lied the time before and you're sheriff again, then you go and maybe they're lying again.
But as sheriff, you could probably just pretend, you could threaten to inspect all these bags until they pay you bribes, and
And then you give it to them and you're like, haha.
there's all sorts of wheeling and dealing in this.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. And then what do you do at the end of the turn?
Then at the end of the turn, you pass the sheriff on and you start over.
All right, everybody draws back up to 6, and then you go. Okay, so end of game. What happens at the end of the game after everyone's been the sheriff a couple times?
End of the game, then you take all of the things around your card and you add it up with the point value.
Cool.
The person with the most of each thing has the king and the queen.
You get their bonus. So if you've got the most, you get 20 additional points. Most apples.
Yes.
Sweet, but what's cool about the app in this regard?
In the app, you can keep hitting continue. And then for Trevor, you would go through and say he had 3 gold apples. I don't think that's okay though. He had like 6 chicken. You can do whatever you want to give him, you know.
And even the contraband are in there, so if he, after he says, okay, I snuck this much contraband through,
Yeah. Then you can go
and
through
score everybody.
And
And
then
it automatically
Caleb's going,
calculates
I
those.
got a lot of cheese.
Yeah, he's a cheese man. Then you got a
And then
lot.
I'm like, I got a lot of bread.
Oh, you're going to see who wins, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Plus your money, it has a place for how much money, how much coin you have in
They
there.
would say, done scoring all players. It goes, okay. And it adds it all up for you. And you can see who's going to win. Trevor won. By a lot.
Man, as he would say, oh yeah, that's pretty typical.
Congratulations.
Nice. Whew.
And there you have
So
it.
that's it. Go around, a lot of wheeling and dealing. You do it a couple of times. So if somebody got some contraband through on you the first time, you may inspect their bag the second time. But they know that you're going to do that, so then they
Then
get
you have to pay them.
legit stuff through.
Exactly.
So what do you think of Sheriff of Nottingham overall?
I like it.
Yeah, we played it quite a bit, huh? And I think many more rounds to go.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. So what would you rate Sheriff of Nottingham?
I would rate it a 4.
Nice. All right. Thanks, Brooke.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.